I love the movie, and I think it is just it felt like it lasted 5 minutes, and I was also on the edge of my seat, even though I knew obviously you would wind up getting Michael Jordan to sign on the dotted line. What is your recollection of signing Michael Jordan?
Well, the last scene, and in the public, and it's the first time I'm saying it ever, I think, because I never thought there'd be a movie of it. So why would I bring it up? In fact, after I saw the game where I first saw Michael was when they beat Georgetown, and
that's the first time you ever saw him?
That's the first time, and the last time I saw him till Tony Roma 2 years later. I never. Michael Jordan was on my A-list. That day that he hit that shot, Georgetown, and because you followed my life, Georgetown was one of our Nike teams. John Thompson was one of my best friends in life. He hit that shot that beat the team that was working for Nike at that time. I mean, we had Nike, had nothing to do with North Carolina, never met, Dean Smith.
And you had never seen Michael Jordan play?
And never saw him play again until he went pro. I'm very honest about that. And that's the irony of the whole movie, and that's what the public's going to get. The way Matt played that scene of me, having psychologically the film and all that stuff, that's an improvement, because in my mind, what Matt did was make a whole scene out of exactly what I told him happened in my mind.
Which was the fact that you saw Jordan calmly
make the shot.
Right, and that Dean Smith had clearly drawn up a play for him at that young stage of his life.
James Worthy, one of the greats of that era, come across and drag the defensive man with. I never forgot that. Then I was home. I was mad because we didn't win. We being Georgetown and John and all the kids and Patrick. And I never thought about it until the day they brought me into Nike and asked me to talk about signing an athlete that they never had. They had pros, as you know, but they never had the signature guy. So to go where you want to take me on the show, Rich, I want to say, that scene that Matt replayed and he eloquently talked about it to the public in that 3 or 4 minute piece explains my mind. If I can't just keep saying, well, I saw him and I liked him, doesn't make sense, right? And that's why I never talked about it before. But if you explained it to, I saw something that just stuck in my mind. And as life went through for me, I had an ability somehow, because, to use this on your show today, I did see Kobe, never saw him before. I did see Tracy McGrady, was involved with LeBron when he was a sophomore and a junior in high school. I have a gift. The gift is I think I can tell talent at a low level or a small level or whatever level that was. And it was nothing planned. I didn't know anything about it. In fact, if you would have asked me, early in my life, basketball was the least interesting sport to me. I was a pretty good athlete, but I was horrible in the game of basketball, even getting there. But to go to the movie, it is so direct. And there's more questions for you. But that scene, to me, tells the public that's why we signed him. There was no logic for me to say against the other people in the room that day were more powerful at Nike than I was. Yes. I ran the college thing. I had nothing to do with the pros.
So you did go to Michael's house? You did, and you knocked on, you cold called?
Not physically to Michael's house.
Okay.
We had that conversation, though. I actually talked to his mother after I met him at Tony Roma's, because I had the sense there that we had a shot with him, but I knew the most important person in his life, his respect for Dean Smith, was obvious. But the one thing he said to me as we sat there at lunch that day, that first and only day I met him till after he signed him, was his family. And that is what I started a phone conversation with her. She knew who I was. And the ending, the last scene you see where she's there, where Dolores is there and making the final decision, those words happened. They didn't necessarily happen in the sites or where they're going. But Mrs. Jordan and I had those conversations, yes.
Is it true that, again, in the film, Jordan, wanted a deal, obviously, but he also wanted a car out of it, and that ultimately he would have just done the deal for the car, and his mom wound up getting, a piece of the shoe.
His mom ended up getting a piece of the company. Forget the shoe. What Michael Jordan did, and give me 30 more seconds.
Go for it.
He started a whole new world for athletes. I don't know about the GOAT, Rich. I said that 5 seconds ago to you. But I do know there's one GOAT in what Michael Jordan, the GOAT of marketing, the GOAT of making money, to go to being part owner. Michael Jordan opened that. LeBron was like the next guy that comes close to that. But there is no, and for black athletes and Spike Lee and all the things that Michael did, Michael Jordan to the world should be remembered as starting an industry that was not there. You can like Michael, you cannot like Michael. You can think he was the best player or not the best player. That's your argument. But one thing the world knows, Michael Jordan saved a company that now is as big as it can be. Nike is as big in the industry in the world. There's no question about the superiority of what Nike. Michael Jordan did that. No Michael Jordan. First of all, forget me being fired. I don't know if there's a Nike today. And however people want to argue it, you can argue for all. They would have been another Reebok or another Puma or not saying that they're bad.
Of course, I understand. They wouldn't be the Nike that they are today.
That doesn't happen.
Was it his mother's idea to get a piece of the company?
His mother was the idea. I told Michael he'd get a piece of the shoe. Rob and Peter gave me the authority. You're going to own part of this shoe. I didn't know what was going to transfer. Dolores says, my son's going to own part of Nike. You make a dime, I make a dime. When Viola does that, ladies and gentlemen, don't cry. Just listen to what this mother's saying. Again, listen to the year 1984. We just got off the 1960s, the 1970s. You talk about we have problems today with race and religion and everything else, Rich. Yeah. It was worse then. And this lady stood up for her son with the knowledge of, like, when they made the trip, I had the feeling we got him. But when she said, I want a piece of the company, and you remember the last scene where Phil comes in and he's talking to Rob and he's hollering at me. What the hell did I know? I felt like we can't do, but you told me to offer him. And Strasser did say, he did give me the okay. But the bottom line, I can say we can sign off. However it worked out in life, Phil and I did say, yes, let's give it to him.
In the screening that I saw the movie, Sonny, that was an applause line when she said, I want a piece. Well, and the whole audience clapped. You're getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it.
Huh? You just hit the vein. That happened.
It was really something in the theater when that happened. And, obviously, literally the rest is history. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.